Hi, I'm Lori Flaquette of Soltar Solutions, and today I'm here with my very good friend, Regina Barr, and we're going to be talking about the positive aspects of office politics for women. Regina, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me and for taking on this very important topic.
It is an important topic. I did so much research for this show. I cannot believe that women aren't really leading this area. What's going on with office politics and women?
Well, I think the first thing is women have a very negative connotation of what office politics are. So what I would say is we first have to change our mindset. And what we need to look at, office politics is just another name for getting things done at work. And I think if we can take some of that politics out of it and just say, hey, this is how we do business, this is how we move things forward, this is how we make things happen, this is how we get it done, I think women would feel a lot more comfortable about navigating corporate politics.
And I think you're right. But first, I think that what we need to do is we need to call out some of those areas that women do so well that are really the beneficial part of office politics.
Well, I think you're right. So women tend to be more relational. We are good communicators. We want to hear from people and embrace people, so we bring people in. You know, we also can be empathetic to what people are feeling. And I think that we're able to kind of put all of those pieces together in a way that we can help bring people on board with our ideas. But then it's what do we actually do once we do that? I think that's critical. And that's where I think sometimes women can fall down a little bit.
What about also the fact that not only are we relational, but we also have a desire to share the glory? Tell us about that.
Well, I think a lot of times women are not very good about taking credit for their work. It's very unfortunate. If you talk to a man, if things are going well, they tend to, and I'm generalizing here, they tend to point to the things that they have done, their knowledge, their abilities, their skill sets and things like that. When women do things well, we tend to look outwardly and point out, well, it was the market environment, well, it was the team that I had in place. And so we really have to get comfortable with acknowledging that there are a lot of things that we bring to the table that help forge success for not only ourselves but our organizations. And I think if we can embrace that and learn how to talk about that in a way that's comfortable and authentic, that will be half the battle of overcoming our concerns about office politics.
So how can we do that?
Well, I think the first thing is you have to get comfortable with advocating for yourself and others. A lot of times we'll bring up an idea, and if it gets shot down in a meeting, it's like the idea never happened until sometimes someone else brings it up in the meeting. And I'm generalizing here, but sometimes it's a man and it gets heard, right? So what we need to do is, first of all, part of it is timing. So if we took a step back, I would tell you we have to be very strategic in how we think and then be opportunistic in when we bring things up, because a lot of it's about timing. You know, in real estate, it's location, location, location. In corporate, it's timing, timing, timing. So do all the prep that you need to do to get comfortable, work behind the scenes, lining up your advocates and allies, and then when you have the opportunity, bring it forward. But you have to get really good at judging, is this the right time? If it's not, don't do it. If it is, then take full advantage of that to work the crowd. You know, the other thing I do, I see this a lot, sometimes women get agreement and they get support behind the scenes. They get to a meeting and all of a sudden it's like crickets. Everyone around them, they're in the hot seat and nobody's supporting them. And I don't let people off the hook. If somebody says that they support a concept or an idea or a product or a process, and they've told me this, and I've moved forward with that knowledge, I will sit there and I'll say something, and if I feel like nobody's stepping up, I'll say, and let's say you were one of those people, I'll say, hey, Lori, now remember when we talked about this and you said X, Y, and Z? Do you want to add to what I've just said? So I don't let people off the hook, because if I've done my job and got the input and moved forward with the best idea or concept that I think I have available to me, I make sure I remind people, hey, we already talked about this and you were on board, so step up to the plate with me here now.
I think that's a great strategy. That's a great strategy, is to actually enlist the help beforehand and the support beforehand, not only that, you also have an opportunity to perfect your idea as you present it. So it's probably a better idea also.
Yes, and what you'll also do, Lori, I just want to add to that, is you will identify the pitfalls or where people are going to come up and challenge you on those ideas so that you can be prepared to address them more broadly.
Great. So when we look at it, what do you think the best way for women to go about embracing the office politic concept as opposed to repelling it?
Well, I would say, it's like anything, start small. It's like you don't have to make it, your biggest and most important and most critical initiative at work or in your business. If you're a business owner, that's not the one where you want to be testing out the office politics concept. So start small, try some things out, dip your toe in, get your feet wet, see how it goes, kind of hone those skills. The other thing is be willing to role play. Find a trusted resource in the company to bounce things around with. If you have a coach or someone, a mentor or a sponsor that you're working with already, use them as a resource because they can help you navigate, because guess what? They've probably been down some of those paths before. So don't feel like you have to go it alone and just be out there stumbling around. There are a lot of things that you can do, and sometimes it's just planning ahead, and engaging others and just trusting yourself in the end.
Well, for people who want to get ahead, professional help is always going to leapfrog them forward.
Absolutely.
I don't understand why people are kind of afraid, or they don't want to go about doing it, or they think they can do it on their own. Professional help makes all the difference. So we're coming to an end of our show, unfortunately. Can you tell us 3 tips that any woman can do right away to be more politically savvy?
So the first thing I would say is change your mindset. Office politics are not bad. They are a force for moving your good ideas, your good works forward in the company. The second thing is don't go it alone. Get a sponsor, get a mentor, get a coach, get a good friend, get someone to help you navigate that environment. Because I'll tell you something, if you don't think the executives in your company or the leaders in your company aren't, think again. And then finally, take credit for your ideas. Be willing to go to the mat for your ideas. Don't let others take that credit from you, because I find that women are doing so many great things, but they're getting credit for very few of them.
And that's going to be the topic of a whole other show, because it's very important that women understand exactly how to take credit for their work and their ideas.
Absolutely.
So thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, Lori.
So I loved it. I learned so much. I hope you did too. Regina Barr, consultant, coach, and speaker. And I just want to say that people need, especially women, need to own their own success. Do not rely on anybody else to help you get there or to see your work. It just doesn't happen like that. I'm Lori Flaquet of Soltar Solutions. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'd love it if you would like, share, comment. We want to know what you're thinking. Bye-bye now.